For the most part, parents believe that psychological illness is reserved for adults. However, mental illness, even disorders such as bipolar and schizophrenia, can occur in children and teens as well. In fact, research shows that most psychological illnesses progress along a developmental course beginning early in life. This is true not only of those illnesses that are commonly associated with children, such as autism and ADHD, but also phobias, obsessive-compulsive disorder, depression, and others. In fact, many of those who have a psychological illness show signs of that disorder before 24 years of age. Parents and caregivers of teens should also keep in mind that adolescence is a time of great change, including physical, mental, social, and emotional changes. It is also a time when the onset of certain mental illnesses can occur. Sadly, some of these illnesses can impact an individual's life long into adulthood. Because of this vulnerable time, it's important to be familiar with the signs and conditions of a teen mental illness in order to get professional help sooner than later. Teen mental illness means chronic difficulty. There is a difference between experiencing a mental illness and occasionally having difficulty with feelings, thoughts, and managing stress. Certainly, teens may have difficulty from time to time with periods of anxiety, maintaining friendships, or feeling depressed. And at these times, they may need the support of their parents, caregivers, teachers, and a mental health professional. However, a teen mental illness is an ongoing experience of symptoms that get in the way of being able to function in one's day. Symptoms may interfere with eating, sleeping, and going to school. Symptoms may interfere with having friendships or maintaining good grades. Just as you might support a child who is feeling stressed by too much homework, it is just as important, if not more, to get professional help for a child or teen who experiences symptoms of anxiety on an ongoing basis. Anxiety in teens versus adults. In a survey conducted by the American Psychological Association, APA, teens appear to be exceeding the stress levels of adults. American teens reported that they experience stress in patterns similar to adults, but that during the school year their stress levels are higher. According to the APA's Stress in America survey, teens reported that their stress levels exceeded what they believed to be healthy. Even during the summer, teens reported feeling stressed, which resulted in other feelings and moods. For instance, teens reported that as a result of stress, 31% felt overwhelmed and 30% felt depressed or sad. Teens also reported feeling tired, 36%, as a result of stress, and skipping a meal, 23%, as a result of stress. Fortunately, the survey revealed that teens had fewer effects of stress on their body or physical health than adults, 54% of teens versus 39% of adults, and fewer effects on their mental health than adults, 52% of teens versus 43% of adults. To support teens in managing stress and anxiety, they may need to learn coping tools, healthy eating and sleeping habits, and a strong support network. However, as mentioned above, teen mental illness is not the occasional experience of stress. An anxiety disorder is characterized by at least 6 months of experiencing symptoms which interfere with a teen's ability to function in their day. Anxiety disorders include generalized anxiety disorder, GAD, obsessive-compulsive disorder, OCD, panic disorder, post-traumatic stress disorder, PTSD, phobia. All of these illnesses can be a potential diagnosis for teens if they are experiencing symptoms of anxiety. Although it is unclear why a specific person might develop a mental illness, typically genetic, environmental, and biological factors play a role. Genetics research indicates that genes play a role in whether or not a child develops a teen mental illness. If an adolescent has a relative with a disorder, there is a greater likelihood that he or she may also have that same illness. However, there are also some teens who have a mental illness and who do not have relatives afflicted by the same illness. Biological, certain mental illnesses can be caused by deficiencies in the brain. For instance, there are specific neurotransmitters in the brain that govern one's ability to pay attention and focus. When a teen has low levels of dopamine, it's an indicator that he or she may have ADHD. Environmental, there are certain environmental factors that have been known to cause teen mental illness. For instance, a teen's exposure to trauma, chronic stress, or poor or little attachment to a primary caregiver in childhood could contribute to an anxiety disorder. Although there is a difference between stress and an anxiety disorder, chronic stress can contribute to the development of a teen mental illness, especially if a teen does not regularly use healthy coping tools. Depression in teens versus adults. Research indicates that adolescents report similar symptoms of depression as adults. However, teens may exhibit those symptoms differently than adults. For instance, younger teens might complain of not feeling well or cling to a parent or caregiver. An older teen might sulk, exhibit negativity, or behave inappropriately at school. In 1987, a study of 296 children and teens between the ages of 6 and 18 carefully examined their symptoms of depression and compared them across various age groups. The study revealed that although there were some differences in the symptomatic experiences of children in different age groups, there were more similarities. Furthermore, a more recent study showed that adolescents between the ages of 14 to 18 tended to have symptoms that were typical of adult depression. The symptoms of depression in adults include depressed mood, sleep disturbance, thinking difficulties, weight, appetite disturbance, worthlessness or guilt, loss of energy, and suicidal ideation. Among adolescents in this study, 97 to 54% of them reported experiencing these same symptoms. Lastly, when examining the symptoms of depression among children and adolescents a bit more